Sree Maathrey Namaha. We will continue to discuss the next slokam today, which talks about mother's eyes. In the last class, we briefly attempted discussing the details of mother's eyebrows and the slokam connected to the eyebrows and the eyes on how Manmada uses mother's eyes as the eyebrows in order to ensure that devotees like all of us continue to get out of the grip of Maya, which is also an other avataram of Mother, and start walking towards the spiritual up north of our true goal of the human birth. The next slokam, the 48th one, we'll understand after our prayers. Can we chant the Shrikanta Matloyasamma? Yes, we.
श्रीकान्तो मातुलोयस्य जननी सर्वमङ्गल जनकाः शङ्करो महादेवः त्वं वन्दे गजाननम्
Vimalapati Kamalakuti.
विमलपटि कमलकुटि पुस्तक रुद्राक्ष हस्तपुटि कामाक्षि पक्ष्मलाक्षि कलितु विपंचि विभासि वैरञ्चि
Manojavam.
मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि
Apadamapahartaram.
आपदामुपहत्कारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्
Sarada Niradendu.
शारदनीरदेन्दुघनसारपटीरमरालमल्लिका हारतुषारफेन रजताचल कासफनीसकुण्डमन्दार सुधापयोधिसुततामर सामरवाहिनी शुभकारत नొప్పునెన్నుమదిగానగనెన్నెడుగల్గు భారతి
Guruve Sarvalokanam.
गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विश्वजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः
Jnananandamayam Devam.
ध्यानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीव उपास्महे
Shivashakti Ayukto.
शिवशक्त्या युक्तो यदि भवति शक्तप्रभवितुं न चेदेवं देवो न खलु कुशलस्पन्दितुमपि अतस्त्वामाराध्यां हरिहरविरञ्चादिविरपि प्रणन्तुं स्तोतुं वा कथमकृतपुण्यप्रभवति
Very good. Thank you. Now, this 48th Slokam of Soundarya Lahari talks about mother's three eyes. We know Shiva has three eyes. The reason we offer a Bilvapatram at the Shivalingam, which is a representation of Ardhanarishvara Tattvam, is because of the three states of existence that many of us normally continue to dwell in. Jagrat or awakening, Swapna and Sushupti. The transition of awakening to deep sleep and deep sleep to awakening is Swapna, where we tend to visualize illusion a lot of things. And Sushupti is the deep state of sleep where all the power of the organs, the power of listening in the ear is withdrawn, the power of looking through the eye is withdrawn, the power of sensing smell is withdrawn. Now all the power is withdrawn and it goes back to our creator, where that's the reason we say sleep is nothing but temporary death, death is nothing but permanent sleep. So these three states of existence that we continue to dwell in, how do we bring in devotion? What is the importance of devotion? Why should we bring devotion? When you start making someone accountable for your doings, your deeds, then you will naturally feel much more accountable for doing the right things, not doing things right. And this ensuring this accountability is being given to a creator, a source, force that you believe in is essentially titled God, whatever name you call it with Krishna, Rama, um, Lalita. So that supreme power, whether it's Jesus or Allah, whatever we call it, with name doesn't really matter. And our accountability, that supreme power about everything that we do, tends to become devotion. Okay. Now, in all the three states of our normal existence, when we continue to hold somebody to hold us accountable, and therefore we tend to keep ourselves on a plane of virtuousness and ethics, that attitude of gratitude, expressing our gratitude to that creator who ensures withdraws the power from all our organs when we are about to sleep, also reintroduces it back when you are awakening. So the gratitude, because a lot of people who went to sleep yesterday night did not wake up this morning, right? Either they slipped into coma or they woke up with some kind of disease or never woke up and became dead and gone. Now, when you are waking back up, when I'm waking back up, you and I have certain functions that need to be done and delivered for the Loka Kalyanam. Okay, the first Loka Kalyanam, the auspicious prosperity for the world, starts with our own body. Therefore, typically our Ayurvedas and Yoga Sastras talk about three things. One, the three M's as we wake up. One of the first things to do as we wake up early in the morning. One is basically ensure that your body has been at rest when you're sleeping. So try to move it gently, not the physical exercises that will sweat us out, and not the exercises that will increase the heart rate. Therefore, in Yoga Sastra, in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, essentially every asanam that we do, they suggest and recommend that the forehead should never get sweated. Forehead should never be filled with sweat. The heart rate should gradually increase, gradually decrease. Therefore, the yoga asanas are always, you look at it, they are generally very slow pace. Okay, and they focus on the flexibility, so movement of the body. And when we wake up, we chant Karagre Vasate Lakshmi Karamadhye Saraswati Karamule tu Govinda Prabhate Karadarsanam. Guruji often used to say it's basically to ensure when your eyes are closed for a long time, the cosmic energy has been accruing in the body. When you open your eyes, there should be, a murti of the god or goddess that you're fond of. So when you look at them, even before you look at that murti, as you open your eyes, that cosmic energy that has been accrued in your body from the last 8, 9, or 6, 7 hours, how many hours you were sleeping through the midnight, that energy tends to go out. So we tend to look at our hands, and there's a way to look at our hands, right? When we join, the the topmost line in the palm needs to join the other line in the other palm, therefore making the Ardha Chandrakara. When you look at it, you will notice that your little finger, if both of them are at the same level, then the cosmic energy and the energy in the body is balanced on both right and left the same way. If it is not, and you will look at it, if the left little finger is little longer than the right, then the right side of the body, sorry, the left side of the body or right side, depending on which side it is little longer, the energy on that side, Dakshina Bhagam or Vama Bhagam, is more. And what we are supposed to do is, according to the Yoga Sastras, you have to, depending on which side the energy is more, you have to keep your thumb. If it is high on the right side, take the right thumb to the right of the navel and gently press to a point where you feel the pressure and thirst on the body. If it is higher on the left side, the energy, you do the same thing. How long are you supposed to do? It's typically supposed to do it for 41 seconds into cycles of 5. Do it for 41 seconds, release it, for about 10 to 20 seconds and then again do it for 41 seconds. When you do this, what happens? The energy in the body gets balanced. When there is energy balance, the body is not in a state of dis-ease. Therefore, as you wake up in the morning, you are, before you put your foot first step, you have to touch the ground and say, Mother, I don't have any other way of stepping onto the ground. So, though you are my mother, I have to step onto you. And the most important thing that happens when we put our foot on the ground is the grounding happens. The excess electric voltage, static energy that has been accrued in our body because we have been probably sleeping on a cot, a bed, or a foam mattress, that excess voltage and the body needs to get grounded. Therefore, our ancestors used to go to the backyard. The floors would not, the man made floors will not help us ground. We should get to a surface where bhumi, earth, can be touched and felt. On top of the, it could be grass or it needs to be some form of earth that is connected to the planet Earth. And when you do that, what happens is the grounding of the body happens, therefore taking out the excess energy or the excess voltage that is there in the body, ensuring the body is balanced on the left and right, which are connected with the Ida and Pingala. The three nerves that are most important that this slokam talks about are Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. Okay, Sushumna is the passage, which essentially, because of the balance in Ida and Pingala, which is controlled by the two nostrils, continues to lift and raise the Kundalini. Okay, this is the background of why we do certain things. I talked about three M's. First is movement. Okay, moving the body gently, moving the hands to check where our energy levels are and what we are supposed to do to balance that energy. Then is meditating on the form of the Lord. You have to sit and meditate for 6 to 8 minutes. Don't worry about not taking the shower and all of it. Just meditate on gathering yourself, expressing your gratitude, having some Suprabhata slokas. Suprabhata sloka is not something that you go chant before the Lord. The Lord does not sleep. So, what are you trying to, whom are you trying to wake up from the sleep? Suprabhatam is essentially for you and me, where we are, there are many Suprabhatas, right? We are trying to wake up ourselves to a Suprabhatam. Su, any word that is prefixed with Su essentially means Subham. Saying we are saying we woke up, let this day be very fruitful for me, for all the fellow beings and the planet and the cosmos that I'm a part of. How can you be how can you awakening be good to yourself, the people that are connected to you, the planet and the cosmos? First of all, you need to talk to yourself positive things on what you can do, not being too greedy, not being too ambitious, but being realistic. The I can attitude. Okay, what the mindfulness world now calls affirmations, right? You are doing sankalpas in the morning saying this is what I want to accomplish today. And once you do the sankalpas, you are praying to your favorite god or goddess, saying, help me make the right use of time today, and therefore accomplish today's contribution from my side to the larger goal that I want to accomplish. And once you do that for about 6 to 8 minutes, movement is done, meditation is done, right? Before you get to the bathroom, get ready, and go start your rituals. You have to basically be mindful of all the things that you have to do that day, depending on the ashrama you are in. If you are in grihastha ashrama and if you need to do certain things, for example, packing the box for your son, daughter, so that they can go to school in time. So you have to be mindful of what time you're waking up at and therefore how much time you have before you sit and meditate and pray, not the 6 to 8 minutes of affirmations, but the actual puja, prayer, and other things that you do. Now, Based on the time you have to plan the day accordingly. Not every day. If every day is the same way, well and good. So when you are mindful of what is coming up in your schedule and routine and what is that you need to do that will help others, your awakening of that day is becoming a suprabhatam. You are helping others do their part of the three M's that they continue. Okay. Now, that's how you can help others. Charity begins at home with people at our own home. Then, how do you help the planet Earth? By chanting the mantras. You are throwing out the positive vibrations. Now, for example, if you go speak to all the trees, Namo Vrikshebhyo Harikeshebhyo Namo Namaha, all the trees and plants that I have, this is a mantra from the Rudra Namakachamkas. You are saying Namo Vrikshebhyo, all the plants, are inhaling the carbon dioxide that all the beings, the chara chara jagat chara achara, all the things that are moving are essentially throwing out carbon dioxide. All the plants that acharas that they don't move, they are inhaling carbon dioxide and giving us the oxygen. So my prana vayu that I inhale and survive is coming from all the plants. Therefore, in Sanatana Dharma, we see God in stones, we see God in snakes, we see God in lizard, we see God in all the things that basically are not generally appreciated by others. Where do you see God in lizards and scorpions? If you go to Jogulamba of Alampur, you will see scorpion, you will see lizard on her kiritam at the footrest also. So in Sanatana Dharma, the ancient path of righteousness, we are taught right from a childhood that every being has some value addition in this cosmos, right from the tiny ants to the bees, to the earthworms, to the lizards, to the snakes, to the apex predator human. Okay. And therefore, we tend to express our attitude of gratitude to all the beings because of what they do towards the planet's well-being and therefore our well-being. So when we go to the a plant or a tree, Namo Vrikshebhyo, Harikeshebhyo, oh plant, you are giving me life. How are you giving me life? By being green. You are converting that sunlight that is coming, which is coming from the right eye of the mother, your mother, my mother. She is the mother of the cosmos. You are converting that sunlight using the green photophil that you have and converting it using photosynthesis, making your food, consuming the carbon dioxide and filling the prana vayu or oxygen. So all the charas, all the moving things can continue to breathe and stay alive. Now, when you start chanting these mantras, expressing your attitude of gratitude, right, to the Ashtadik Palakas who are not visible but doing their job, right, to the Vayu Deva, to the Agni Deva. Agni Deva is the messenger of the god. So when you wake up, you also express your thanks to Agni Deva, who is ensuring the body temperature is being maintained, no matter whether it is peak summer or peak winter. Your body is always trying to maintain its temperature. When the body temperature goes into an imbalance, the person is declared with fever, right? And that is an symptom of disease in the body. So you say Agni Deva, you are the messenger of the gods, and Parameshwara has kept you in every house in the form of fire. You become the Pachaka. You are the ultimate messenger of the gods who can carry everything from the plane of human existence to the extraordinary plane of divine existence where all other higher beings exist. So you are the messenger that carries our messages and brings them back to us. When I offer in the fire the mantra Om Namo Ganapataye Namah Swaha, you are taking whatever I'm offering with the cow ghee and you bring back the witness of that God has taken this offering that you have done. Therefore, you become the plane, you become the screen on which that God expresses in the form of a Bijakshara, Bija Mantra, or sometimes the Bhagavan Rupas themselves, many of which, I attempted sharing with many of you. It's It is possible with every being who does it with focus and attention and with utmost faith that the Vedas are real. If I am doing my job as per the Vedas, the fire god will do his job along with his wife Swaha Devi, because this is Daiva Karikramam. If it's a Pitru Karikramam, Swada Devi, and relay the message along with the offerings that I'm offering. Since the offering has come from the Panchabhutas, it can't be carried the same way. It needs to be cleansed to go to the next level of existence. Atatala, Patala, Rudratala, all the 14 planes of existence, depending on whom we are giving, right? And when Agni Deva has to take it, he has to burn it down to ensure the essence of the message is carried and not the Panchabhautika Tattvam, because the Panchabhautika Tattvam is confined to this planet, this planet of our own existence. But when you are trying to relay a message with a material beyond this planet, it needs to be cleansed and can be carried by Agni Deva in the form of its Sukshma Rupa or essence. And to give you proof that it has been accepted, that God about whom you are praying with utmost faith will appear in the holy fire of Homam in the form of mantra rupas, right? Now, this is exactly what goes on in our body. When we offer food as a prasada to our body, there's fire burning in our body. Vaishvanara is sitting at the navel, and that Vaishvanara essentially needs to balance the fire in the body, Jataragni, the fire in the tummy, to ensure the fire can turn into digestive power. And no matter what we are throwing it, which should not be the case, we should eat ideally very moderately and sattvic food. Then that food continues to turn into fuel to fuel our thoughts, our deeds, our actions. Therefore, you see, when people are very focused and doing, they don't want to eat a lot of food, they want to eat very little. They'll eat little lot of times rather than eating one big meal, because one big meal continues to reduce the intensity of Jataragni in the body and therefore making us become lazy and slow. Okay. Now you express your gratitude to Agni Deva and others by chanting their mantras. When you chant the mantras, these positive vibrations are spreading and removing the negativity. When you pray to the cosmos, how do you pray to the cosmos? You are praying to the Paramatma, Parashakti, Paradevata, saying this god or goddess is not confined only to my planet of existence. They have been there, they will be there forever, eternal, Sadashiva, the Sadashiva Tattvam. And I am a particle that got separated from this Paramatma, the Parabrahma Tattvam, and I'm trying to find my path back. O Paramatma, O Paradevata, ensure the Maya, which is your play, also helps me get to the path of discovering my moksha, my liberation from this cycle of birth and death. So I forgot my true state of existence, and today I am in this body that is named Prasanna. So I'm thinking I'm Prasanna forever. But let me go back. Antarmukha Samaradhya, Bahirmukha Sudurlabha. Let me go back to the internal source that is beating my heart without my interference, that is ensuring I'm continue to breathe without my interference, that is ensuring the blood is flowing in my body without my interference, that is ensuring that when I sleep, I still continue to breathe and all the bodily functions are continuing. So I wake back up Bhavati. So this being is still existing. So you are taking care of all of it. And therefore, O Paramatma, when you express your gratitude, you are your awakening that day is causing making Suprabhatam. You awaken to do good deed for yourself, your fellow beings, your planet, your cosmos. That is what we call Suprabhatam. Okay. Now, after discussing these fundamentals and foundation, let's try to discuss the 48th Slokam of Soundarya Lahari. Let's understand. Ahasyute savyam tavanayana markatmakataya tritiya te drishti daradarita hemambujaruchi sama tatte sandhyam divasanisya anta rajarim. What does this mean? The first shlokam, the first line itself means Ahasute savyam tavanayana markatma kataya. Aham sute. Aha is bright light of the day. Ahasute. Sute is being brought, right? Sute is it's being brought. Where is it coming from? Savyam Tavanayanam. Tavanayanam is of your two eyes. Savya. It can be right or left, but in this case, depending on the context, you have to understand what is Savya, what is Apasavya, or when we use Savya for right, when we use Savya for left. In this case, Savye Tavanayanam. Essentially, Jagadguru Adi Shankaracharya is saying, from your right eye, what is happening? Savyam tava nayana markatma kataya. Arka is another name of sun. We discussed in the Dwadas names. Arkatma is the greatness of the sun. Okay, the current sun that we witness as Pratyaksha Bhagavan is lit by one ray of light that is coming from mother's right ear ring. Okay, when you're talking about mother's right eye being the sun, this is that sun that we talk about. Every sloka of the Bhagavan, we say, Koti Surya Samaprabha, right? When we say Vakratunda Mahakaya, Koti Surya Samaprabha. This Koti Surya Samaprabha is essentially what we are referring to when we say to the sun god of mother's right eye, Ahasyute Savyam Tavanayana Markatmakataya Tritiyam Tritiyam Vamam Te Srijati Rajani Nayakataya. What does that mean? Tritiyam, Triyamam, sorry. Aham Syute Savyam Tavanayana Markatmakayam Triyamam Vame Srijati Rajani Nayakataya. Ayes are called Nayanas because they are the leaders of all the organs, right? When you look at something, you know where to go. So in this second line, Jagadguru is saying, Trayamam Vamam Te Srijati Rajani Nayakataya means the Nayanas, essentially the left one. Where is it saying Vamam? Since the second line saying Vamam, the first line's Savyam is referred to right. So using the second line's word, we know the first line referred to the right eye. Since Vamam means left, Vame Shakti Dharam Devam. In Shiva Shadakshari Mantram, we say Mother is sitting always to the left of Shiva. Right? Now, in this case, what we are saying is Triyamam Vamam Te Srajati Rajani Nayakataya. Her left eye is reflecting the coolness of moon, and that is Rajani. Rajani is the name of moon. Rajani Nayakataya, essentially the leader of the moons presiding over the nights, not just the moon that we look at that is visible to us, but the moon of the moons that never gets eroded. The moon that we look at has been cursed by Daksha because moon had 27 wives, all the nakshatras, and moon was only fond of Rohini and was ignoring others. And all the daughters went to Daksha. They're all daughters of Daksha and sisters of Sati. They complained to Daksha that, you married all of us to Moon, but he is only fond of Rohini, is ignoring. Then Father Daksha warned Moon couple of times. And then he said, since you are only going to Rohini and not going to others, even that Rohini will not entertain you. Starting tomorrow, you will get TB. What does TB do? TB erodes the person away. And then Moon sat and meditated after getting the good counsel of Guru of the Devas Brahaspati. He meditated on Shiva. And Shiva said, Daksha is your father in law and my father in law. So if I undo his curse, it would not be respectful. So what I'll do is, you will get eroded as per his curse, but after 15 days of erosion, I will, again give you growth. So you keep growing, waxing, and waning. what we call in the lunar cycle now. And the reason you will continue to grow is because I am going to keep you in my hair. Since I'm Sadashiva, you will also get that eternity, but you will be growing, eroding, growing, and eroding. Now, that's essentially what happened to moon. But the moon that we are referring to in mother's left eye does not erode. It essentially says, Mother, you give the coolness to all the cosmos so they don't get burned down by the heat of the sun. Right? So when sun helps us grow the crops in the morning, moon and moon's light and moon's coolness helps us grow the medicinal properties in the herbs. And that's the reason in Ramayana, when Lakshmana became unconscious at the Nagastam of Indrajit, Rama, and the doctors of Vanaras told Hanuman that when you go to the Himalaya Prantam or the place, you will see all the herbs are becoming self illuminatory in the night because they receive the moonlight in which their medicinal properties become enhanced and they tend to glow much brighter. And therefore, the medicinal properties in the plants and herbs actually gets enhanced by the moon. So, mother's left eye, by saying moon, she increases the coolness in our body. What does coolness mean? She reduces the anxiety, she reduces the anger, she reduces the any racing condition that comes in our mind that increases either anger, lust, greed, or the six, kama, krodha, mada, matsarya, mohas. So when we tend to have anything in excess, she will ensure that we continue to stay calm. When the planet moon is strong in somebody's astrology, he or she will have good health. When moon is weak, they will continue to have a lot of ailments and diseases. For those people who are, nobody can go back and change their date of birth. Those people whose moon is very weak in their astrological chart, they have to ensure they get a piece of silver. It could be a silver ring, silver chain, whatever. And toe rings essentially are kept to women made in silver, not gold, is because women's body goes through a lot of hormone infusion, and because of that, the body continues to be prone to a lot of diseases, imbalances. And Sanatana Dharma introduced the toe rings to the married woman who has to ensure that she is preparing herself to enter the motherhood. Her body needs to be balanced to ensure the safety of the mother and the to be born baby. Therefore, as part of the wedding ritual, the husband keeps the toe rings on the wife's toes to ensure her moon, no matter where it is in the birth chart, she needs to have stability of moon in her, you know, life so she can bring another life with health and healthiness, which is a true wealth. This is the secret of why the toe rings are kept these days. Toe rings, anklets are everything being changed to gold, which absolutely defeats the purpose. No matter which class or wherever they are born in Sanatan Dharma, some people say we are Kshatriyas, therefore we wear gold. It's wrong. Okay. No matter who they are, the reason silver is the best conductor. It conducts the moon's medicinal properties and relays it into our body. This is the reason Sanatana Dharma has introduced toe rings as part of the marriage ritual. So women's body is always protected. Women's body also receives a lot of negative drishti because everyone, some people can look at a woman with lust. Some people can look at with a woman, with jealousy. She's so pretty, she has so many ornaments, kind of a thing. So women tend to accrue a lot of negative drishti or what we call the evil eye, and that will be reduced or mitigated when you have the silver touching the body by the cooling effect of the silver. This is the reason every week on Thursday or Friday, when women are praying, they are supposed to take the turmeric and apply this turmeric onto their toe rings to ensure it is getting charged up with positivity. This is the reason in Sanatana Dharma, whatever pujas used to happen, our ancestors used to apply turmeric to women's feet, not just to the toe rings, to ensure the women of the house is protected. If women of the house is protected, everybody else will naturally be taken care of because there is no other like the mother of the house. Okay, this is essentially what the second line says. Triyamam Vamam Te Srijati Rajani Nayakataya, essentially. Okay, and what does the third line say? Tritiya te drishti daradalaja hema ambuja ruchi. Now we are talking about the third eye that is never visible. The third eye is there in to Shiva and Mother. When Shiva opened the third eye, we know Manmada got burnt. Whenever Shiva opens third eye, the Kala Agni will come, right? Depending on whom he is opening the third eye on, Kala Agni, the Kala which we typically represent with Kala Bhairava and Kala Bhairavi. They are the impartial couple who will ensure the karmic results of whatever we have done in the past are the outcomes, the results of that karma are either enjoyed by us as the punya phala or suffered by us as the papa phala. Now, what happens is Shiva's Kalagni. We also say Shiva's right eye is Surya, left eye is moon because there is no difference between Shiva and Shiva. Always remember that is the reason we pray to Shivalingam. Pray to Shivalingam is much more superior than praying to Shiva's form. In Mahabharata, there's a story where the question comes Shiva, Arjuna asks Krishna. Krishna is a great Shiva devotee. To represent that, even in today's time, if you go to Ujjain, the Sandipni ashramam, the Shivalingam to which Krishna used to pray every day to and would do Abhishekam to Shivalingam, that Shivalingam is still there that you can go pray to. Okay. Arjuna asked Krishna, brother in law, how do I get power to get the Pashupatastram? What should I do? Should I go pray to Shiva's form? How do I pray? Then Krishna tells the secret that when you pray to Shivalingam, the power of praying to Shivalingam is 108 times more powerful than praying to a Sakara Murti of Shiva. Just like any other temple you go to, you have a Murti of Vishnu, Jagannath, Rama, Lakshmi, Sita, right? Or Anjaneya. But if you go to a Shivalingam, there is no Rupam. Arupa Rupi Shivalinga is there. When you pray to that, you are praying to the Ardhanarishvara Tattvam of the masculine and feminine energies union, which caused the cosmos to come into existence in the first place, even before you and I existed. So we are praying in the Suprabhata Tattvam, we are praying to the Paratattvam of Parabrahma. And therefore, that is the highest form. What why we say 108? The nakshatras are 27, each nakshatra has four padas. So when you are praying to Shivalingam, the reason we say it's 108 times more powerful is no matter which nakshatra or which padam of nakshatra, 27 multiplied by 4 is 108. Every being that is created or born should be born in one of these nakshatras. And when you are praying to Shivalingam, the reason we keep an Abhisheka Patram on top of Shivalingam, which is dripping drop by drop, is to ensure that Shivalingam should never be dried. That's the reason we say whenever Shivalingam is kept at home, that Shivalingam should always be kept in water. Okay? Because when the masculine and feminine energies are coming together, the creation happens in water as a medium. Okay, you and I got created in our mother's womb in that amniotic fluid from the single cell that we were in, which started replicating. Okay, when the Shivalingam is getting dried up, that will cause headaches to us. Therefore, whenever we keep a Shivalingam at home, we need to ensure it never gets dried up, right? If you can't keep an Abhisheka Patram that constantly drips water, you are supposed to take a bowl or a silver bowl ideally, fill it with water and keep the Shivalingam in it. And keep replacing this water, keep drinking that water. Okay, saying now Om Shivaya Gurave Namaha. Shiva is the guru of everyone. How is Shiva Guru? Okay, When going back to Sati's story, when Sati's husband was insulted by the father-in-law Daksha, Mother Sati Devi wanted to punish her father, because of his devotion. She was born to Daksha as a daughter, but he became arrogant. After one gets blessed with capabilities, prosperity, you see some people will become arrogant, thinking they are the ones, it's their abilities that got everything, not realizing, and they no longer, are grateful to the Supreme Being for ensuring their prosperity and growth. And that arrogance leads to their downfall. Now, when Daksha became arrogant, Dakshayani, Mother Sati Devi wanted to put an end to that name, saying, I will no longer exist as his daughter. And therefore, she enhanced the Yoga Agni from her navel. People say she jumped into the Yoga Kundam. No. That Yoga Kundam's fire is unholy because Shiva is not prayed to in that. So, why would she even touch? So, she sat in Padmasanam, prayed to the Jataragni, the fire that is there in her own tummy, which is an avataram of her own husband. One of the Ashtamurti Tattvas of Shiva in Arunachalam, we pray to the Agni Lingam. And she asked that fire to consume that body that listened to the Shiva Ninda, being the Shiva's consort and companion and wife. She said, I don't want to live in this body anymore after listening to the Shivaninda from my own biological father, and she consumed her body. That's when Shiva took that vibhuti and applied on his body because he was not able to tolerate the separation of mother. From then onward, Shiva started applying vibhuti. So every time we apply vibhuti on our forehead, we say basically this sampradaya comes from that first act of Shiva saying, even if you turned into Vibhuti, you are mine. And he appeared, he smeared that whole Vibhuti without leaving a particle on his body. And he started, people say the body was half burnt. And no, that's not the full story of it, right? We will discuss that in another class. But when Dakshayani consumed her body in that yogagni that came from her body, Shiva went and sat in the Himalayas, and Sanat Kumaras and Sanaka Sanandanas all accrued, all gathered around him and sat. Since the Vama Bhagam, Vame Shakti Dharam Devam Vakaraya Namo Namaha, right? We say Shiva Shadakshri Mantram. Now the Vama Bhagam is gone, the left part is gone, only the right part is left, Dakshina part, and therefore he is called Dakshinamurti. Where did the Vamabhagam go? The Vamabhagam has no place to go. It went inside him. Therefore, when we look at a Dakshinamurti picture, you don't see mother explicitly called out. Okay? But she is there in him. Therefore, whenever we say Dakshinamurti, to get the full benefit of chanting Dakshinamurti's name, we have to say Meda Dakshinamurti. Meda is the intelligence that we are blessed with. Can you see your intelligence? You can only experience and express your intelligence. You cannot see your intelligence. Similarly, in Dakshinamurti Tattvam, when we pray, we have to pray to Dakshinamurti saying, Om Namo Meda Dakshinamurti Namaha. That is when he is complete with his concert and energy. Meda Dakshinamurti. Okay. That's the reason we call him Dakshinamurti because Vamadevam, Vame, the Vama or the left part, he's became intrinsic to him, so we can't see, just like you can never see a person's intelligence, like you can see my face, you can see my hands, you can see my eyes, but you cannot see my intelligence, you can experience it. So Shakti can be experienced, cannot be seen. Okay. Now, the third eye of Shiva that burnt Manmadha, depending on who is receiving, it can, that Kalagni will give Punya Palas to some, Papa Palas to some. It will give the Jnana Agni, it will invoke the wisdom and the awakening or the enlightenment in some. Okay. Now, but everybody is scared of Shiva's third eye. They only say, oh, Shiva will burn down everything. right? Why would they say that? When the Pralaya, Mahapralaya Tandava Sakshini is a name from Lalita Sahasranam. When the final time comes, Shiva does the Ugra Tandavam, which is called the Pralaya Tandavam. He then opens the third eye, burning down everything, annihilating everything into ashes. Okay, people only know that form of Shiva, but they don't know the Jnana Agni, the Kala Agni that he continues to give to all of us. Yeah, but if sh- if you have an element of fear, you might have a pet as a snake, dog as a pet. But sometimes when the dog is angry, okay, and the snake as a pet, the snake still is poisonous. It can bite, causing death to the people. So you have to be very careful. When there's an element of fear, even though it is your own father, when the father is known to burn somebody down with the third eye, you will be a little scared asking, please open the third eye for me. Right? You never know what you have in the store as punyas and papas. And we are all haunted by our past and thinking we have only done things to do with papa, we haven't done anything good. Therefore, we are scared. But with a mother, even if she's very angry, you'll be playful. You will never worry with a mother. Therefore, the approach that we have to our mother is not the same that we have with our father. With father, there's a little distance. With a mother, there's never distance. No matter how angry the mother is, we can just go, and mother's anger is compared to an instant flame that comes and cools down in no time, right? No, when therefore the third line says Tritiya te drishti daradalida hemambuja ruchihi. Hemam is gold. Ambuja ruchi essentially is lotus. The third eye of mother is giving golden lotus. What does that mean? Who wants golden lotus? In our body, Muladaram, Anahatam, Manipuram, Muladaram, Swadhisthanam, Manipuram, Anahatam at the heart, Vishuddhi at the throat, Agya at the Bhrumadhyastalam, and Sahasram. There are lotuses. These lotuses are generally closed. When the Kundalini is going up through the Sushumna Nadi, when you balance the breath, the Ida and Pingala, the Sushumna starts getting activated. When it gets activated, the Kundalini rises through. When the Kundalini rises through, it has a light of the gold, yellowish golden light that flows through the Sushumna in the form of Kundalini ascending. When that Kundalini touches these lotuses that are closed at chakrams, they open up. How do they open up? They open up as golden lotuses because they're touched by Kundalini now. So this third line that says Tritiya te drishti daradalita hemom bujaruchihi, the third eye of the mother, when we start focusing on mother's third eye, it can ascend our kundalini, therefore giving our lotuses a golden shade when they open. That's what Jagat Guru is very secretively telling here. If you look at a picture of mother, generally you can't see the third eye. Therefore, what is that you have to do? You have to close your eyes and start focusing on your third eye wherever you keep the bindi or botu. And therefore, when you start looking at what happens, the moment you start going into this, what we call the Sambhavi Mudra, okay, where you are looking at Sa Amba, the right and left eyes essentially are invoking the masculine and feminine energies, and using that masculine and feminine energies union, we are crossing the Varanasi, which is this bridge of Nasal, where Ida and Pingala cross. When we are looking at the third eye by closing our physical eyes, focusing here, that's when the balance of Ida and Pingala happens. When they balance, like balancing both the hands, they tend to ascend the Kundalini from the Muladharam base. That's what happens in this third line. Tritiya te drishti daradalaja hemambuja ruchi. Samadatte sandhyam devasa sama datte sandhyam devasa nitra antaracharim. Essentially, what is that we are saying? We are saying Samadatte. What does Samadatte mean? Samadatte means causing. When these two are balanced, what does that balance cause? It causes a resonance. What does resonance mean? It tries to raise the amplitude. In physics, we have learned. What is the amplitude? Our Kundalini's amplitude will raise. Samadatte. Sandhyam means, why do we chant Gayatri in the Sandhyas? The transitions, 10th class over 11th and 12th is the most difficult, where kids are studying very hard, not knowing what would happen in the future. 11th and 12th is a Sandhya, therefore it's called intermediate. Okay, it's an intermediate state. Then, when the professional course is over, they're transitioning into corporate for a job or getting into professionally settling down and starting to earn, another transition. Then they are entering grahasthashramam, another transition. All these transitions are very difficult, but they mark significant beginnings and significant ends. You came into 11th, marks end of your 10th. Without an end, there's no beginning. Without a beginning, there's no end. After your 12th, it decides how much effort you have put in, therefore, how your future is going to be. Okay. Similarly, in a day, when we are going through the three states of normal existence, how do we go to the fourth and fifth state, Turiya and Turiyatita? That's where the cosmic energy, what we do in Sandhya will decide what will happen after Sandhya. Okay. Pradosham, before the Sandhya, before the dark. So during the Sandhyas, the cosmic energy is abundant. Depending on the efforts we put in, what will happen after Sandhya will decide based on what we are doing before Sandhya and during Sandhya. Therefore, the Sandhya time, morning 6 o'clock, afternoon 12 o'clock, evening 6 o'clock, midnight 12 o'clock, where the two times are joining, okay, are the most powerful in getting the cosmic energy. Therefore, these times, the Gayatri Mantram, Sandhya Vandanam, you are inviting, you are doing your namaste, you are expressing your respect and gratitude to the Sandhya. And during that time, if you chant any mantras like Gayatri, right, or other mantras that you have, Gayatri doesn't mean only the 24 Akshara Gayatri mantra. Any mantra that is given to you by Guru is considered Gayatri, right? Now, this mantra, if chanted during Sandhya, even if 11 times, 3 times, or 27 times, 54 times, 108 times, whatever be the number, that will give you multifold result. Okay, if you're chanting a mantra during normal time, chanting it the Gayatri mantram, chanting it in the Sandhya period will give 108x maximum power. Depending on your concentration, it can be 27x, it can be 3x, it can be 54x. So chanting mantras during Sandhya time is very powerful. That is the reason our Sanatana Dharma has introduced the concept of Sandhya Vandanam. Okay. They do the three Sandhyas, morning 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock, afternoon, evening 6 o'clock. Midnight 12, not everybody does it, depending on the Sampradaya they are in, they do that, right? And therefore, especially when you are chanting Soundarya Lahari and others, they say chant it in the evening after dark, it's much more powerful because the darkness tends to attract us to do the bad things. And when you're chanting these powerful stotras after it is dark, you will get enhanced power that will protect you from doing the wrong things. Okay. This is a brief attempt at the 48th Slokam. Ahasyute savyam tavanayana markatmakataya tatiyata edasti daradaraja hemamajruti trayamam vamam te sujati rajani nayakataya tritiyata edasti daradaraja hemamajru samadate sandhyam divsanityo antaracharim. When you chant this Slokam, gradually it will introduce the antarmukhatvam. It will help you start getting into focusing on your third eye and therefore going inward. The way to go inward is basically close your eyes, start chanting mantra. For example, if you are saying Shiva Shaktya Yukto, you should start seeing that mantram, visualizing that mantram being written on your forehead. Shiva Shaktya Yukto. You should be seeing on your mental plane those aksharas in the language of your choice. When you start doing that, gradually what happens is your concentration starts accumulating in the third eye part, which is what is illuminating the mental plane with whatever aksharas you are chanting. Okay, if you're saying Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Gam Ganapataye Namaha, as long as you're visualizing that mantra, it becomes very effective and it will help you go inward. Okay, this is a brief attempt at the 48th Slokam. Now we will chant Mangalam Guru Shri and conclude. Can you chant it, Amma?
मङ्गलं गुरुश्री चन्द्रमलीश्वरगे शक्तिगणपति शारदाम्बिके शङ्कराचार्यनिगे कालभैरवगे काली दुर्गगे वीरधीरसूर हनुमा मारुतिचरणगे मङ्गलं गुरुश्री.
Stay blessed and we will meet in the next class. Sree Maathrey Namaha.
Thank you. Srimati.